Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. A second person is now facing charges in connection with the death of a 13-year-old boy in Drums. Investigators say the teen, who was one of several foster children living in the Butler Township home, died Monday after being assaulted for hours. He was pronounced dead later that morning at the hospital. Authorities allege the foster father, Cesar Delgadio, attacked the boy after suspecting he had harmed other children in the home. According to online court dockets, the boy's foster mother, Virginia Delgadio, is now also charged with endangering the welfare of children, corruption of minors, and tampering with evidence. Officials say the remaining children in the home have been relocated. Both Cesar and Virginia Delgadio are being held in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility as they await preliminary hearings. Pocono Township Police are asking for help tracking down 2 suspects wanted for retail theft. Investigators say around 3 o'clock p.m. Saturday, August 2nd, at the Fossil outlet in the Pocono Premium Outlets, a black female wearing a black shirt and a black male wearing a navy blue shirt and matching hat stole several watch sets valued at more than $2,300. When store staff confronted them, officers say the pair ran off. Anyone who recognizes the suspects from the store security images is urged to contact Pocono Township Police at 570-992-9911 or submit a tip online. Callers will remain anonymous. Congressman Rob Bresnahan toured a mountaintop plant this afternoon to discuss how Pennsylvania manufacturing will be affected by the recently passed One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Republican Conference Chairwoman Lisa McClain from Michigan joined Bresnahan on the visit of the I2M plant in Mountaintop, which specializes in manufacturing and designing advanced flexible polymer films used in construction. It is a part of tour with McClain in partnership with the National Association of Manufacturers and multiple Pennsylvania and New Jersey congressmen to visit small manufacturers while promoting the reconciliation bill and how it may change local economies. 3 local Commonwealth health facilities may soon be sold to Tenor Health Foundation. Employees were recently notified that a letter of intent was signed last week for the sale of Wilkes-Barre General Hospital, along with 2 Scranton hospitals, Moses Taylor Hospital, and Regional Hospital of Scranton. The sale will include all sites associated with the 3 facilities. Tenor Health hopes to turn around the 3 financially struggling facilities. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection is extending its air quality warning in northeast Pennsylvania as smoke from ongoing wildfires in Canada continues to drift into the region. A Code Orange Air Quality Action Day, first issued on Monday, will remain in effect through Wednesday for more than a dozen counties, including ones in our viewing area. Under federal guidelines, Code Orange means air pollution levels are considered unhealthy for sensitive groups such as children, older adults, and people with heart or lung conditions. The DEP is urging those groups to avoid any active outdoor activity. The agency is also asking residents and businesses to help reduce fine particulate matter in the air by not using of gas-powered lawn equipment and limiting fireplace or wood stove use. Smoke from Canadian wildfires has impacted air quality in Pennsylvania multiple times this summer. To monitor conditions, visit www.airnow.gov. This site updates hourly based on data from more than 2,000 air quality monitoring stations across North America. Coming up on WYLN News, state police are keeping an eye out for underage drinkers on college campuses this fall. Plus, do you have the $1 million Powerball ticket? Find out where the winning ticket was sold in our area. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton's emergency room team. Your experts in any emergency. When emergencies happen, minutes and expertise count. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now part of Jefferson Health.
My name is Andy and tomorrow is going to be sunny.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
Welcome back to WYLN News. With fall semester quickly approaching at colleges and universities, officers from the Pennsylvania State Police Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement will be working with local and state police to target underage drinking in and around area campuses. Borough officers will also be meeting with many liquor licensees around campuses to promote awareness and to reinforce preventing sales of alcohol to minors. State laws say that any person under the age of 21 found in possession of or consuming alcohol will be cited under Pennsylvania's underage drinking law. The penalty carries a potential fine up to $500 and up to 90 days imprisonment for the first offense. It could increase up to $1,000 for subsequent offenses. Any person, including parents, that are found supplying alcohol to anyone under the age of 21 will be charged with furnishing alcohol to minors, a third-degree misdemeanor under PA Title 18. The penalty for the first offense is a minimum fee of $1,000 and up to 1 year imprisonment. The second offense is a minimum of $2,500. Governor Shapiro joined Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Security Secretary Nancy A. Walker and community members at Overlook Park in Lancaster County to meet with students and supervisors participating in OVR's My Work program. The visit highlighted the summer employment program for students with disabilities and the administration's commitment to expanding opportunity for all Pennsylvanians and the life-changing impact of the My Work summer employment program. The program has supported over 2,400 young Pennsylvanians across the Commonwealth. Shapiro emphasized that people often underestimate people with disabilities, but that he knows that people with disabilities bring unique strengths to the work they do. Shapiro wants to keep reaching and connecting with more young people with real-life world experience and to give them the confidence that comes from contributing to our communities. Representative Jamie Walsh is hosting 2 town hall meetings open to the public on Wednesday, August 20th to highlight a legislative proposal that would eliminate school property taxes in Pennsylvania. Representative Wendy Fink, Senator Don Kiefer, and former Representative Frank Ryan will also join Walsh in the meetings. Both town hall meetings will be held on August 20th. The first meeting will be held at 2 p.m. at Beach Mountain Lakes, 1 Burke Drive in Drums, and the second meeting will be held at 6 p.m. at Sweet Valley Church of Christ, 5439 Main Road in Sweet Valley. To register to attend one of the town hall meetings, RSVP by calling 570-675-6000 or 570-359-2999. 2138. Doors will open 30 minutes before each event. For more information on how your taxes could change under the bill, you can visit www.noprop.tax/theplan/estimate taxes. Rockin' the Mountain is back Friday night at Hazleton City View Park, and headlining will be Winslow, an Eagles tribute band. Gates open at 5 p.m. with opening act Six Shots starting at 6 p.m. There will be food trucks, adult beverages, and fun awaits residents of all ages. Hazleton Public Transit also offers free bus rides to and from the event starting at Church Street Station all the way to City View Park. The bus will be marked Special and can be waved down anywhere on the route. Multiple lots offer free parking as well. The event is free, and you can find out more information at www.hazletonrocks.com. Have you checked your Powerball ticket from Monday's drawing? Because someone in our area may be $1 million richer. Pennsylvania lottery officials say that August 4th's Powerball drawing has one big winner, and that ticket was sold in Lansford. The winning ticket had numbers 8, 9, 19, 31, and 38, but did not have the red Powerball number of 21. That means that while the holder may not have hit the entire jackpot, they are winners of $1 million. A $5,000 bonus will go to Boyer's Food Markets in Lansford for selling the winning ticket. There is another Powerball drawing Wednesday night that has an estimated jackpot of over $449 million. Coming up on Freeland's News Choice, we learn more about the dangers of child drownings on Wellness Wednesday. Plus, Wyln historian Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Milton Part 3. And stay right here on Wyln. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cher's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cher's is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. Hey, did you know Wyln posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Attention, WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie. According to the CDC, more children ages 1 to 4 die from drowning than any other causes of death. Drowning is the second leading cause of unintentional injury death for children from 5 to 14. And every year in the United States, there are over 4,000 unintentional drowning deaths. So we are here at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton's emergency room, and I am with our medical director, Dr. Kara Weaver. Welcome.
Hi.
So we are here to talk about safety. What can we do when we are out there in pools and public spaces to help prevent, and what to do, God forbid, somebody is in that situation?
Right. So, when we talk about, there's a very broad category, like you just kind of elaborated on when we talk about, water safety. With the summertime, we're thinking about pools. And most of these drowning incidents occur really at home pools, more so than other places. But rule of thumb for any type of, whether you're swimming in, lakes, streams, the public pool, or, at your own house, is always to swim, not alone. Always have either a buddy system or in groups. because of the fact that, it is very easy to tire, water is a different environment. And so then, kind of having that safety check. With young children, constant supervision, don't rely on flotation devices in young children for, necessarily providing, flotation or as, basically helping them swim. Like you want to make sure that, basically life jackets are the best and the most recommended item for protecting yourself when swimming, especially with young children or, especially out in like open water, like lakes or streams. And then, safety around those areas. So like if you're around the pool, you don't want to be running, horse playing, pretending to be drowning, anything like that that may cause, injury. And so those are some of the basic things that you can do. For homes even, or if you're going out recreationally like kayaking, canoeing, having throw devices, whether it's something like a lifesaver or some kind of buoy or rope bag, something that if someone does get in trouble, you can get to them quickly so you can help pull them in and to make sure that, that the person that is assisting them has, the ability to do that, with steady footing.
So let's go back to children. And, when we say, like you said, drowning, it could also be like in a bathtub or something like that, correct? I mean, do those incidents happen as well?
They can. Overall drowning is not a very frequent event. When we talk about, anyone can drown in even a very small amount of water, particularly small children. So that's where constant supervision at bath time is very important. But yeah, so it can happen there. But most of the time we're talking, most of it we see is at home pools.
Right. So, making sure the space is secured. Right?
Correct.
To make sure that they can't have access to it when no one else is around. And usually what you hear is the very young children, like in those statistics, who are curious or thinking they can do something. And I'm sure that's where it happens a lot.
Right. So I think parents, obviously it is harder when it's like a really young child. So, that's where, making sure, gates are secure, locked, that, that they can't, they don't have access to those areas. If they do, because I understand toddlers, they move pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can get out of sight in a second. But on the other hand, too, like, from an early time on, instilling, like, that you don't, either whether you have a signal or, with, amongst the family when you can enter the water, or you always make sure that you go with a buddy, establishing those rules really early on is important.
Yeah, I did see somewhere where they do the little high five, like they tell young children you don't go in the water until you high five, so a parent or a guardian is watching and knows that you're going into the water, and having that kind of routine just so they're super focused on knowing that they're definitely in the water. I saw that as well, which is not a bad idea as well.
Yeah, and so, I think one of the things when we talk about from an emergency department perspective on, drowning, we don't see a lot of those injuries, but, what we're talking about is like both near drowning and drowning, that's submersion injuries where you aspirate water into the lungs. If you encounter someone like that, we want to make sure, that once they're pulled from the water, you may want to lay them on their side to support them if able. If you're not worried about a neck injury, like from a diving incident, or other type of trauma, but you want to potentially lay them on their side because they may vomit if they had aspirated water. And then when they come to the emergency department, we often watch these patients for several hours because someone may come in and they may not have difficulty breathing or they may not have low oxygen levels, but it can develop over time. So sometimes we'll monitor. If patients come in and, they're having signs of difficulty breathing initially, their lungs they sound like maybe they're wheezing or their oxygen levels are low, we may just admit for at least observation overnight.
Well, thank you so much for this valuable information, and we hope that you're very vigilant when you're out there swimming. If you're watching young ones swimming, we want to see them grow up and be healthy and happy. Thank you again, Dr. Weaver, for your insight, and thank you for watching Wellness Wednesday.
Thanks.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
My name is Andy and tomorrow is going to be sunny.
A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
Trolleys became ubiquitous in towns all over America as the turn of the 20th century approached. Milton, beginning in 1898, would be the central conduit of the Lewisburg, Milton, and Watsontown Railway. Organized by Philadelphia financiers Henry Massey and Edward Tennis, it was the first trolley line in Northumberland County. In Milton, it ran along Front Street and Broadway Street. Like many other trolley companies, the Lewisburg, Milton, and Watsontown hooked onto the idea of building an amusement park along its ride to attract riders. And so it was on May 28, 1910 that Riverside Park opened just north of Milton on the former site of Fort Boone. Its major opening week attraction would be Daredevil Lionel Laguerre and his Mammoth Spiral Tower Act, which involved Laguerre maneuvering up and down a large spiral tower while balancing on a ball. Guests who visited Riverside Park had the opportunity to ride a train, a carousel, and a Ferris wheel, and play on a baseball diamond and tennis court. A dance pavilion served those who wanted to kick up their heels, and a playground awaited the younger guests. A small bear also lived in a cage at the park, although in 1916 it would attack a maintenance man that entered its cage to clean it after being scared by passing dogs, costing the man an arm. Flooding in 1926 and the end of trolley service in 1928, when the Lewisburg, Milton, and Watsontown Railway shut down, would herald the end of Riverside Park. Today, Fort Boone Campground stands where an amusement park once was. Milton leaders, though, did not give up on the idea of an amusement park after Riverside Park's closure. They purchased 20 acres of land from Bryson Montgomery on a large island nearby in the Susquehanna River and built an entertainment complex on it, which they named Montgomery's Island Park in his honor. It opened for guests in June 1929 with a carousel, numerous swings, and seesaws among its rides. The park also had 2 cookhouses, in conjunction with a pavilion with space for 200 diners, as well as various refreshment stands. It quickly took on the various picnics and other civic gatherings that had previously been held at Riverside Park. Later, a baseball diamond and a drive-in theater also graced the island. Milton sold Montgomery's Island to the state of Pennsylvania in 1966, and today it is part of Milton State Park. As the 20th century dawned, women across America were still fighting to get an equal place in a male-dominated society. Not many avenues were open to them professionally at the time, and architecture was one field where men were strongly entrenched in control. One former Milton woman, however, was determined to change that. Fay Kellogg had been born in Milton in 1871, and as a young woman had always been good with tools. As such, although she initially trained to be a doctor, her father Albert encouraged her to take up architecture instead. Fay studied the art of building for 2 years under a German tutor, becoming adept at math and drawing, then took a position under architect Rudolf Daus. She would aid in the construction of New York's 13th Regiment Armory and the Monastery of the Precious Blood. She then went to Paris for 2 years, during which time she tried to gain admission to the prestigious École des Beaux-Arts. The school would not admit women at that time, however, and she could not gain admission, although her efforts would eventually open the door there for future women. Determined nonetheless to succeed, Kellogg returned to the United States in 1900 and took another position with New York architect John R. Thomas. Her input would be critical to the final design of New York City's Hall of Records, including her decision to include statues of former colonial Dutch governors looking out over the city atop the building. Following Thomas's death in 1901, Kellogg went into business for herself in 1903. She got off to a strong start, building and renovating several buildings for the American News Company on Park Place. Kellogg would personally supervise all projects within 200 miles of New York City and drew up the plans for those further afield. Some of her other works include Brooklyn's Women's Memorial Hospital, skyscrapers in San Francisco, and numerous suburban railroad stations. Through it all, she pushed hard for women's rights, saying, "I don't approve of a well-clipped woman creeping along. Let her leap ahead as men do. All it takes is courage." Kellogg fell ill in the spring of 1918 while overseeing construction of the YWCA Hostess House at George's Fort Gordon. She would pass away in July of that year, but because of her pioneering efforts, women everywhere could see they could do anything if they dared to try. Back in Milton, the town's industrial strength had returned, with many landmark businesses joining those already operating in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The Milton Manufacturing Company, run by the Scheimer family, began operation making iron products in 1886. The West Branch Novelty Company, established by partners Marshall Reed, Harry Frick, and George and Frank Chapin, opened in 1889, originally to make bamboo furniture. For a time, it was the largest bamboo manufacturer in the United States. By 1910, though, the company found that the cedar chests it had been making on the side were more popular products and gradually phased out bamboo furniture in favor of the chests. The Milton Brick Company opened its doors in 1914 and would produce bricks through 1940. And the John E. Dakin Hosiery Mill was established in 1919, making silk stockings for women. Moviegoers in Milton would get to see films at 2 theaters in town beginning in 1924, when the Legionnaire Theater opened the town's American Legion building, a plan by the organization to pay off its construction debt. It first showed the film Welcome Stranger on October 23, 1924. The Legionnaire had a tilted floor so that each of the 600 possible patrons could have a clear view of the stage, which also hosted live shows as well as movies. A pipe organ was added in 1925 and was purchased by the Pappas brothers in 1930. The Legionnaire Theater closed in August 1952 following a legal dispute over which pictures it could show. A McDonald's stands on the site now. By then, though, another theater had taken over in Milton. The Capitol Theater opened on Broadway Road on June 20, 1934, with Shirley Temple's film Baby Takes a Bow. It was larger than the Legionnaire Theater, with a total capacity for 1,200 moviegoers. Admission would be $0.25 for adults and $0.10 for children. The Capitol will also be the site of Christmas parties over the ensuing years. By 1971, though, it had fallen into disrepair, and its new owners paid for an extensive restoration. After 2 months of work, the restored theater reopened to a line nearly 6 blocks long on August 6, 1971. The Capitol survived Hurricane Agnes's flood and continued screenings. By November 30, 1973, a fire broke out in the theater's furnace room and caused extensive damage to the stage and roof. With the building now in danger of collapse, the Capitol Theater was torn down in 1974. A park now stands on the site, with a mural of the theater paying tribute to what was once there.
You're watching WYLN TV